Hello everyone! It is day 9. Welcome to day 9 of 30 inks in 30 days. And today's ink I think is pretty fun. It is Colorverse's Apollo 11, their anniversary ink for the Apollo 11 mission. It's a very pretty blue-purple, kind of a dusty blurple, which it shows up a little bit more purple on the camera than it does in the swatch and in my writing, but that's okay. And I have it paired with my Retro 51 Tornado, very appropriately, the Apollo 11 50th Anniversary Special Edition pin. And this nib is a fine point. Although I do find that Retro 51's write very, very broad. So it feels more like a wet medium to me. Well, Apollo 11 was the American space flight which landed humans on the moon. In 1961, JFK, President John F. Kennedy, challenged us to put, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. And this was accomplished on July 21st, 1969 by Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. Armstrong and Aldrin spent approximately 2¼ hours exploring the surface. They were on the surface for a total of 21 hours and 36 minutes. The mission lasted a total of 8 days, 3 hours, 18 minutes, and 35 seconds. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Neil Armstrong's famous words. Beautiful, beautiful, magnificent desolation. And Buzz Aldrin said that as he stepped out of the lunar module behind behind Neil Armstrong. I knew I was alone in a way that no earthling has ever been before. And that is from Michael Collins, who stayed behind in the command shuttle. So I think this is a really very nice, dusty, blue-purple, muted, dark and readable, but still with some nice shading going on. And of course, I love that I can pair it with this Apollo 11 pin, so kind of matching pin, matching ink deal going on. No sheen, no shimmer, just really nice shading, and a little bit of, well, a tiny bit of, almost looks like a rusty gold orange sheen, but just on these really wet parts. I don't see any of it in the writing or when I did like a single pass over the swatch. But here on the really wet bits where it pooled to dry a little bit, but I still don't think I would classify this as a sheening ink. Then in the Cognitive Surplus 81 GSM paper, it was really wet, especially out of this pen. So I really got a lot of bleed through on both sides and a lot of feathering. I don't see any shading on this page. I think it was just too wet and the paper too absorbent, but you can still write with it, but I think it definitely would have done better with a finer nib than the Retro 51 Fine. And before I forget again, I have yesterday's chromatography from Mars Curiosity, which is just a very unexciting red traveling up the strip. And then today's ink looks like it has some gray, maybe slight hints of green, and it goes up into kind of periwinkle violet and then to that darker blue purple. So very, very pretty. that is it for today. And as always, I thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!